Hello, Daryl here. The channel is Programming in Any Language. The supporting website is programminginanylanguage.com or black-duck.com. They both take you to the same place, and it's a place you'll find the videos and PDFs of the code. The video is the Anything Database version 4, part 4, saving the file. Saving the data consists of extracting data from the fields of each field in the list. Thanks to our class, each field is already sized properly with blanks. To write each record to disk, each field needs to be concatenated to a single variable with a comma between each field to make the record a comma-delimited record. Again, our class comes to the rescue. A simple method can handle that for us. Once the complete file has been created, it is in a format that can be easily imported to a spreadsheet or a database table. The process is actually quite simple and straightforward. Watch. With navigation complete, we now can turn our attention to trying to save all the records so that we can come back the next day and continue with our operation without having to recreate the file all over and over and over again. We can simply just add records and save them and then bring them back if we want. So saving the files is going to be an important piece of this thing. Saving the files is what the Anything Database version 4, part 4 is all about. If you take a look at the save piece, it's sitting on the end here, and we're going to open the stream writer. We're going to open output device, read the record, rate the records from a list, and then close the file. That's all we need to do. We'll shorten that a little bit and take a look at just what it is. And these are those pieces. Saving it, open stream writer, select the output file, write the records, and then close the file. Of course, there's a loop involved, all kinds of good things that we're going to actually be seeing. That'll take care of it for us. What we're going to use in our form, not too much. We're going to use the label user message so we can display what's going on. We save the record, we save the records, and button save is it. The rest of it we can ignore. We're not going to be doing anything. So the coding should be somewhat simpler, somewhat more straightforward in this. So we're going to take a look at that. So let's take a look at that code. So this is our form. Once again, we're taking a look at it. We're going to be using the navigation button and the save button. The navigation or comment message area is going to be used, and the save button will be used as well for this particular piece. Now, one thing's going to be a little different here. In the structure version of saving the file, we put a lot of code there formatting that data so we'd all have it in place. We don't have to do that, especially if we use that class. So I do want to make a change to the class here. I'm going to take this class right here. At the very, very bottom, I want to create another method that we can actually use. I want to call it format comma-delimited. And what I'm going to do with that is I want to actually format our record so that it's already done. Putting our comma inside there, we don't have to deal with that in our actual operation in our program. We'll simply call it format comma-delimited and bring all the pieces with us. What does that entail? What it entails taking the full record and actually going ahead and building it. And we do that like this. str full record is going to be str fname plus a comma plus middle. If we're concatenating it all, plus a comma, str last name plus a comma, no spaces in there. We're just going to be whatever the thing is plus a comma and go on down there. So we have this one long record that's going to be basically comma-delimited. So we can then save it. It's going to be a fixed length when we get done with it. So all of our records sitting in our file will be the same size. We don't have to worry about adding blanks to this thing because that was done up here with our other methods that created our text when we brought it in. So we're simply going to be using the class to concatenate the data and bring it in. That's going to make the saving of the file much easier. Let's take a look at our design. Let's click on the save button and make that thing work. To make this work, we're going to need a couple things here. We're going to have the int write counter sitting in this. We'll set it up an integer, which is going to give us a number of records that are written to the disk. So we'll have a count of what that actually is. We're also going to have a string str anything record, which we're going to set the spaces or nulls right now. It's going to hold the current data from the structure. So the structure is going to bring this thing in, and it's going to create the next, not the structure, from the, I'm going to say list/class. Because the class is going to be formatting this for us in our format. So we're going to grabbing the data from a list, but then formatting it. So what happens to happen next? Well, the next thing we want to do is we want to actually go ahead and write the record. So what we're going to do is the try catch here. We're going to do a try, which will be file processing for us, and we're going to have a catch. which will be an exception EX. Bring this down. So we're all set there. We don't need these spaces in here. We'll get rid of that. I don't think we have any errors in this lineup. We're fine. So basically, we're going to be doing the stuff we need to do in this area right in here. And down here, we're going to create our message. So we're going to go ahead and pop in, show ex.message is going to be popping in here. So that takes care of that. If we have any kind of an error in the try, we'll just come out and let the system tell us what's wrong with this particular thing. So what we want to do then is we want to basically get to set up our stream writer and create our file. So we'll do that right in here. Our stream writer is going to be called the anything file. Our anything file is going to be able to file.create.text, anything.text, and we're going to open our file to do that. Then we're going to create our loop. So our loop is going to look like this. For int write counter equals 0, int write counter is going to be less than the record count, and we're going to increment write counter plus 1. So we're going to start with 0. We're going to check to see if it's greater than record count, and then we're going to increment it. Then we're going to create an instance of our class. New person equals new person. This allows us to get ourselves an instance of the class. We take our new person and grab our list piece to it and pop it in there. This gives us the record we're looking at any given time based on the record counter. Start with 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on down the line. Once we've got that into our new person, we then can grab the format comma-delimited file, new person.format, and put that into the anything record. So our formatted data, all the commas in it, is already sitting in str anything record. What do we do then? We write it. We write the anything record and go back in our loop and do it over and over again, and we're all set and done. So what do we do next? Once we're done with that, we close the file and give the user a message. We do that right down here. Anything file.close, and then label user message.text, data written to disk. That's all there is to it. So we did use the class to actually help us format by creating a new method inside the class itself, which allows us to write the record. That's all we have to do. Do a file save on this, and we'll run it. There's our data. Once again, we have nothing out there, so we're going to have to create some things. So we're going to go ahead and add. Add another one. I think we gave him an apartment, didn't we? And I think we added Bugs Bunny to this thing. And now we have successfully added 3 records to the file. Where are those things? They're sitting out in our list. We can now press our save button, and we get a data written to disk. And right now, because we don't have a load feature in here, we have to assume that it worked, and we can see what happened. Let's go ahead and close this off and take a look. We'll jump into where the file is, which is in our demo program here, in the bin/debug folder. And there's our anything database text that just was created. I'm going to double click on this, and our list is going to come up. I'm going to widen this. We can see how nicely it's formatted with the spaces in there, the blanks. Daffy has a bunch of space. Elmer has a bunch of space, but they're all the same size, even though the first names are different size. The middle initial sitting in here. The last name is a different size as well. Well, at least Bunny is. But again, we've got the right number of spaces, so they're coming in right now. We've got apartment 1 sitting here. So otherwise, we have blanks in the address line 2. Our city is showing up nicely, our state, and our zip code is sitting in there as the end. So the records are equal, actually the same size. Very easy to bring this into a spreadsheet. Very easy to import this thing into a database if we need to. So our save is working. All we got to do now is create the load button so we can make this thing happen again and actually, continue with our process of doing all this other stuff we've got here, which is we got the edit under here, we've got delete, we've got clear, all the good stuff that's sitting back here. So we're going to do all that stuff too. But next will be the load piece. So that's saved in a nutshell. Now that we can save data to disk, the next logical procedure would be to load the data from the disk file. That's what we'll do next. Thanks for watching. Visit the website when you get a chance, and please subscribe to the channel. There's more stuff coming every week. We'll see you in the next video. Take care.